This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, it's 5:30, everybody. Let's call our joint meeting with North City Water District and Shoreline Fire RFA to order. Let's do roll call real quick. We'll start at this end of the table.
Max Woody, North City Water District, Director of Operations and Engineering.
Patty Hale, Commissioner, North City Water District.
Diane Pottinger, District Manager at North City Water District.
Matt Cowan, Fire Chief Shoreline.
Kim Fisher, Shoreline Commissioner.
Barb Sullivan, Shoreline Commissioner.
Evan, Shoreline Commissioner.
David Harris, Shoreline Commissioner. And Ron Rickard is about to come in.
Always nice to see
Rick Nash,
that.
Shoreline Commissioner.
Behind you.
Yeah, Rick.
Did you get Rick? No,
Okay, man.
Commissioners.
yeah, people were talking. Okay, yeah, yes. the first one.
Okay.
Yes. And then we have Tyler, Eric, and Josh on virtual. Rick Webster and Lisa Woolen have got excused absences. And we have Mr. Rickard.
Hello. Here you go, Ron, right here.
You don't go out when it rains.
Yeah. You can stay home with it while you melt.
I hear you. Okay. Introductions, just did those. Old business, town transit, North Shore. Oh, Shoreline, excuse me. Well,
No worries, no worries, no worries. I don't have a lot to say on this. I think you guys might have some tidying up to do or whatever, but
Is all yours complete?
yeah, as far as I know. I guess that is a good question. I probably should have asked Ryan, but I haven't. The last time I talked to him, it sounded like everything had been kind of wrapped up. We still have ongoing operational, stuff there, but yeah, I think we're good.
So we had 6-8 different easements that we needed to get associated with the different light rail stations. And so part of them were on individual properties. They had to merge the properties together. Then you also had part of it that was coming on the old streets, because it used to be on the south one, there used to be a 147th, and that was merged. And so part of it went away. And so what we're waiting on now is trying to get the last easements from Sound Transit. Now, remember, they had their ribbon cutting August 30th of 2025. And we have not received this last easement, and it's associated with the fact that the city of Shoreline and Sound Transit has not completed their transactions of doing the surplus land and then transferring it back. And so we can't finish up our projects and show them complete. Plus, there's one in between Connect and the Shoreline North Station, so that they're sharing an easement. Part of the for Sound Transit, they needed to have a 15-foot wide easement that went along the fire line out to a fire hydrant. And they didn't have room on their property, so they purchased, or they worked a deal out with Connect, that the property to the north of them. And so there's a joint area, and it's taken us a year to get that worked out. But I can't close out that project because it hasn't been recorded and gone through Sound Transit, and it's been almost 3 months.
So don't we have water mains that we need to relocate on 145th that are part of this?
Not as part of Sound Transit.
Oh, okay.
Max can talk about that one there, but
Okay.
you can see that it's just a little challenging to get all this last paperwork done. And then with Juniper having left the city of Shoreline, they've split up her job. She was the person that did Sound Transit for 10 years. And now that she's gone, then they've split up her work. And sometimes you're not sure if the right hand is talking to the left hand. So it's challenging. We just wanted to shade that. But we're getting ready to get started on the project going along. Max will talk about it here down under the capital projects going along 145th. we have been working with, the project manager along 145th and going along Bothell Way, trying to coordinate another project. They said that Sound Transit didn't think that we needed to replace a water line that was put in 1952 along Bothell Way, that they put in a sidewalk, or they were gonna put a sidewalk on top of a 1952 water line. Now, don't you think it would look pretty bad to have that go in that way and then during construction have that break and then all the houses would be without water, and it's Sheridan Beach area, so that just might not go over really well. So we've been working on that, trying to get it all worked out. But Sound Transit has split up the 145th, the Bothell Way, the part through Kenmore, and then the part through Bothell, all the way going out there. Each one of them is a separate project. And I think they just had the ribbon cutting for the Kenmore portion of it. And so they're trying to get they have to do all their work between 9 and 3 p.m. every day or at night. So it's going to be interesting to see how that project goes. But, you know, just by splitting it up city by city is what they're going to be doing this whole project to get the bus rapid transit. It's not very easy. And there's no parking garages along this bus rapid transit. So, you know, the little stations that they'll have a place to hose off. And that's the water service. There's no bathrooms along any of this way.
Seems.
Yes. Seems.
So anyway, just, it's a little more challenging, but just wanted to make you guys aware of it. And not that you're gonna want to connect up to the fire line there right at the station, but could be a little challenge. And then when we were doing the part along 145th and Shoreline, we found that there were 3 hydrants that were Seattle Public Utilities that crossed from the city of Seattle's on the south side. They crossed north into Shoreline, and were supposed to have split all that back in 1995, and they didn't. And so we're going to remove 2 of them as part of this project. The third one is not within an area. North City just didn't want to pay for 5 lanes of paving just to close a service in an area, just to wrap that up. So we'll wait until that part of the project comes up down the road. But at least 2 of them are down there to the east of 15th Avenue. So getting some new fire lines. A little challenging.
Yeah, your world is, especially when you're dealing with 52.
1952 pipes, yeah.
They would.
No, what? Think
Okay, I was kidding.
Yeah, no, we have found wood. Got some pieces out there. Okay, Birdcrest facility. So we signed a memorandum of understanding with DSHS that they have no intention of remaining in the water business, and they're going to phase to get out of the water business and eventually give us the water system on Birdcrest campus. So in going through and doing that, that means that we have to, it has to be brought up to current district standards. So the first one that they're doing right now, there's Charlotte Haynes trying to log in. Could you let Commissioner Haynes in? Thank you. She is so the first one is a 120 bed hospital and a laundry facility that's going in. If you just go along 155th, you'll see that right on the first part. So that's 100% of that is going in, and that will be deeded over to us, or not deeded, they'll easement for us, get it recorded. The second one is down, Max will talk about it, but we're going through the process that around the DOH lab and getting some work done, but we're going to have to phase all these things in a little bit at a time. And our goal is to put a reservoir over on the Birdcrest campus or a pump station. And if it doesn't work that well there, then we're going to locate it over on our maintenance facility. Part of me would love to have it right on our facility, because then we could just walk right out. It's right there and the guys can take care of it. But the other part is that's another 20 feet higher in elevation. So we can
On the Birdcrest side.
it's quite a bit higher. It's a little bit bigger area that we could go ahead and put stuff up there. But then we'd have to pay a long-term lease to DSHS over time. So, and you get into leases and stuff like that, and that might make it a little more complicated. But we would like the option that in the event of an emergency that people can come to 3 reservoirs instead of 2 within our community and try and get water. So anyway, we're staying pretty close, coordinating and doing this, but it's probably a 15 to 20-year project to get that all turned over. And you never know, going through capital budget down in Olympia isn't any fun at all. But the fact that they have signed a memorandum is we are working towards a common goal. And they won't do any development on that site unless it meets current standards for water.
And we've been locked up on that.
Yeah, it's been very nice on that. But thank you.
Okay, shoreline regionalization update.
So I'll try and be brief, and then if there's any questions, please feel free to ask, because there's a lot of different stuff and moving parts on this. But so where we're at, we had a city council meeting Tuesday night. Sorry, it's blurring a little bit this week. So Tuesday night we had a city council meeting.
Shoreline or Lake Forest Park?
I'm sorry, Bothell City Council meeting.
Okay.
Sorry, my bad. Bothell City Council meeting, which was fairly robust. Went till 10:45. So it was a little bit of a later night. And a lot of questions and all that. And again, I'll kind of summarize how the meeting went, which is I was hoping that we would land a little bit more solidly on the pursuit of an RFA, but I think that they were doing their due diligence of asking a lot of questions and about the different options that were out there. They pretty much, kind of landed on the RFA as a direction, but there were still some options that they wanted some more information on. So we're in the process of, the city, Bothell, is preparing documents and so forth for briefing the council on why and the pros and cons and so forth, which is pretty easy because I've already provided a lot of that to them as well. I have a little bit of homework of looking at which is pretty easy. I'm just waiting for a number from our architect as to what like a South Bothell fire station looks like, the cost and our northwest corner, looking at a new station there just to be able to compare before and after with the RFA. There wasn't a whole lot more homework for me from the meeting, but where we're at is they need to make a decision here, fairly soon about whether or not we're going to continue moving forward at least this year. And they've got all the information in front of them, and we're hoping that they'll make a decision one way or another within the next few weeks, month. And that's our goal. So
question, Matt, is the fire station then become the financial responsibility of Bothell?
Well,
or is it?
Let me talk about those in a separate context, because we have similar issues both in South Bothell as we do have in the northwest corner of the city in Richmond Beach area, and that is that we have the 2 stations that respond to those areas, both in Bothell and Station 42 in Bothell and Station 64 here, are being heavily used for call volumes, which is making them unreliable. And when they become unreliable, then our performance drops. And so in South Bothell, there's limited access to south of the slough. And so that makes it difficult to have good response times. And there's about 1,500 calls ish in that area. We also have a situation not nearly at that level, but about 800, 900 calls a year in the northwest corner of the city that draws from 64, which makes that station also unreliable. And it's the growth that's occurring in both the cities that are helping contribute to this issue. And so, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because that was one of the questions that was asked about, like, what's the impact to Bothell if they do that Bothell station on their own, or we do both stations at the same time under the RFA. And so that's the analysis that I'm doing. We're also doing a deeper financial analysis, and we had authorization to move forward with a fire benefit charge, so analysis of all of the Bothell properties becoming part of our formula under the fire benefit charge. And that's important because then we can formulate a better overall financial picture of what it means to the Bothell taxpayers, to the RFA taxpayers before and after, and so forth. A very, very high level cursory examination and analysis showed that this would be a very good thing for a financial taxpayer standpoint for RFA residents, which would include, or taxpayers, which would include Shoreline, Lake Forest Park, and Kenmore. Yet to be determined as what that means in Bothell, because there's a lot of other decisions that the city has to make in what they want to do with their own property tax. Are they going to lower their property tax commensurate with the RFA, property tax? Are they going to do part of it, all of it? None of it. Well, they won't do none of it, but well, who knows? It's not my decision. That's the city's decision, and that is what we really need to be able to kind of finish out the financial picture. So there's still a bunch of moving parts to this. The process would be that if they, if they like this package and all that, and they say, "Yep, this looks good," then I formulate a modified RFA document, bring it back to this board to sign off on. Then it goes back to the city council to review and or endorse, and then by resolution put it on a ballot. So if we want to have full authorization by January 1 of 2027, then it needs to be an August ballot measure. Anything after that, we wouldn't have full authorization until 2028. And there's other options that are on the table, like a full services ILA, things like that. But a lot of these other ones have more cons to them than a full joining into the RFA. Again, there's a lot of stuff here, and I just went through this in just a couple of minutes, but there's a lot of benefits to from a financial standpoint we don't know about Bothell, but to everybody else. There are levels of service improvements that would occur as well. So on the surface, it looks very positive, but we still need to figure out the package and then have both the board and the council weigh in on that package.
Kind of sounds like buying a new book and letter.
I guess
Like
a little bit bigger, but yeah. So,
Are there a lot of admin people that are impacted by this?
no, they're very lean right now on purpose to help make this work.
Okay.
And the administrative manager over there is retiring at the middle of this year. So good timing there. And so there's two admin people, and then there's two other, a PIO and an admin for the fire marshal's office. And we have need for all. So nobody would lose their jobs. Actually, you know what? I need to back up a little bit because you don't know this probably. We are getting more and more aligned. They adopted our contract language and policy language on working conditions and so forth and salaries. So we're aligned, almost entirely financially, the same, pay levels and so forth. And working conditions wise, the policy language and stuff that affects working conditions is aligned as well. Our day shift BCs are managing the staffing program for Bothell. And so they're, it's the program, not direct supervision. We still do. So they're managing, like when somebody calls in sick for calling in out overtime or things like that, and the pay codes and all that. Our deputy chief of operations is directly overseeing their battalion chiefs, and our deputy chief of support services is overseeing the fire marshal and the battalion chief of support services over there. So we have alignment and we have integration, and all that's done under the executive services ILA, which you all know about, we've talked about before. So we have really good alignment and so forth, and there's a lot of pros, to doing it, but at the same time, it's a big decision by the city, to relinquish their authority over the fire department, and so that's not lost on me. And so they are making sure they do their due diligence about asking all the questions and so forth.
Staffing update.
Okay, so staffing update. This may come as a little bit of a surprise. The rest of the board knows this. So speaking of administrative managers, our administrative director, Bofa, is going to be retiring on June 30th.
Who?
Bofa, our administrative director.
Oh,
She's going to be retiring on June 30th. We had already, and we have done a review of our organizational structure, and we have some tweaks that we think will be beneficial to our long-term health. But we are going to be advertising. In fact, it'll probably go out tomorrow, maybe, or beginning of next week, our advertisement for a new administrative director. So that we can, and we're trying to move on this as quickly as we can because she's gone in 3.5 months. So it would be nice. It's really important to find the right person, but it'd be really nice also to have some transition if we can get there. If we can't get there, we can't get there. But it's more important to get the right person. But it'd be really nice to have some transition as well. So
Capital projects.
So you also hired someone that we kind of like, Mr. Ormsby, that recently became an employee here.
Mr. Ormsby.
Isn't it Ken? Ken Ormsby.
no, Victoria's last name is Ormsby. Ken's name is.
He used to work for the city of Shoreline. He's with me
Oh.
now.
I know who you're talking about. I don't remember his name.
Ken Adams, yes.
So yeah. Well, and
He is an awesome.
I was focusing on our admin staff, but just so that you know, we have 16 firefighters between Bothell and Shoreline, 8 each that are in our academy working out of Kenmore. And we have 3 that are in our paramedic program that will come out in August-ish, end of July, August. The firefighters will graduate in end of May, but the paramedics will come out in August. So.
And so what's Ken's job? Lead or something like that he works?
It's me.
Maintenance, okay. Anyway, we see a lot of him in the North City. He's very active in the North City community.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see that.
Cool. That's always great.
Yeah, and
So-
just seeing the smile on his face
He's
the other
well
day.
thought of in the community,
Yeah.
so the fact that he is at the nursery station.
Oh, he's actually he works here, but
Oh, well, fine. He's still well thought of.
He's
he
still-
moves around. He
Okay.
moves around, yeah.
Wherever he's needed.
It's great.
Okay, on to capital.
Capital projects. So I printed out the copy just to make sure that I didn't miss something if it was important or if you had any questions. We have about $4.1 million worth of capital projects for this year. Nothing super big. There's a few things that I wanted to mention. We are purchasing a couple of 8 cars and so forth. One thing that I'm kind of excited about is that we're doing a lot of trying to get more efficient with the electricity usage. We're doing switching over to LED lights in 3 of the stations. We're adding electric vehicle hookups, things of that nature. But I was looking through this list, and there's a lot of it's not super flashy. It's just a lot of equipment and so forth. Nothing that's really super big ticket items.
Not like that fire truck, huh?
Yeah, well, we've invested quite a bit in apparatus lately, so we have that push-in ceremony for the ladder truck, and we, in the coming weeks, as soon as I get a date, we'll also have a push-in ceremony for the new fire engine, which we have coming. And then the next one will be next year sometime, the heavy rescue down in Kenmore. So, and then that's it for right now. Well, the 8 cars I mentioned, so there's nothing else on order, which would.
Two 8 cars?
Yes.
So I guess I was thinking that you were gonna do something big down at Richmond Beach area.
Okay, so that's at Station 62. That's what I was talking about. We're not doing anything there yet.
Okay.
We still need to have actually a final decision from the board on building the new fire station and all that. And that I'm waiting for whether or not Bothell joins the RFA or not, and if we're going to do our own capital bond, or if we're going to have a bigger one as part of the RFA for 2 stations. But the board still needs to weigh in and make sure that that is in alignment with our planning, our strategic planning. We've had a lot of robust conversations about it, and we bought the property just immediately west of Station 62 in preparation for building, but that's still a decision that we have not made completely. I'd say we're, I don't know, 98.3% there. ish. But that's still a strategic decision that needs to be made.
Well, I think one of the meetings that we were there for the North Shore Fire meeting a while back, a couple of years back, wasn't there a property adjacent to a fire station that was gonna be vacant property that people were wondering if it was gonna come up for
That's-
sale?
That's that property.
Okay,
And we did end up purchasing it.
okay,
And there was a pizza restaurant owner
Yeah.
that was there. She left. And the next occupancy over called the Beast and Beauty and Beast.
dog groomer.
Thank you, dog groomer. She actually expanded her and she took on some of the space that the pizza place had vacated. So we're on a lease with her until we decide what we're doing with that property. And that's worked out well. She's been a good renter. But it does give us the opportunity for in the future. I would say at the early,
No, you don't have a vacant derelict building.
not
From
entirely.
time, it's
No, it's,
getting used.
yeah, and it's a small strip mall. It's only had two occupancies there. You know, at the earliest, we would probably, if we were to run a bond next year and then start moving forward with, designs and all that, I would say the earliest that would probably be doing anything down there would probably be maybe later 28 or 29. So, ish. But again, we need a board decision on a few of these things.
You mean your opinion matters? Pardon.
Absolutely
Well,
does.
some of their opinions.
Some of us live down that way. We'd like to see it.
Any questions about other capital projects or anything? Nothing else is really flashing. I looked through it, I was like, I don't know if you really care. Training opportunities, that's more of a question, I think, for you guys, if there's, opportunities where we can collaborate. We still are, every now and then when we get an acquired structure, we're doing live fire training and so forth. We tried to do that recently.
Where's Andreas?
Everybody,
We have this project.
this is our exercise. This is our time to exercise. So
Water bill, complicated water bill, light bill.
yeah. So we recently were trying to do some live fire, in which we had a little bit of a high pressure system and it kept the smoke down and it drifted towards the school and the school got excited, and so we shut that down. But other things, I don't know of anything that's really really exciting.
Are you gonna do any more of you're always welcome to do things at our reservoir, but any more of those trainings that you've got?
Not that I know of, not that's coming up
Okay.
real soon. Right now, there's been a lot of focus on new ladder truck training, and then there'll be new in fire engine training, because even though they're very similar to our existing, we go through everybody goes through a full certification on that rig. So there's a lot of focus on that right now. So that, and we're also gearing up for the impact from FIFA. In fact, I got an email today about asking who's going and who are we going to get certified to be down there and all that. So that's going to be an
So
ongoing.
is that like a mutual aid?
Well,
agreement, or-
it won't be necessarily mutual aid. It'll be under contract to provide extra people to there. I guess it is kind of a way of mutual aid, but they will have on those event days. They will need. It's not just the soccer matches days. It's also they have other events that are going on, and the impact is pretty significant. The initial estimates that I received was that they will need an extra 22 medics and upwards of 100 firefighters to staff up for those days. And so that's something that is
22 medics and how many firefighters?
well, I don't know about the
Yeah.
don't quote me on the exact
No,
numbers,
no.
but upwards of potentially 100 firefighters. So pretty significant impacts because we're talking about close to 1 million people. On different days. So we've been gearing up for this for over a year, but it's getting closer now. Now we're getting actually to the point where we've got to get credentialing and so forth, so that the security passes and everything are working out. So,
Can you talk a little bit about the climb last weekend and how that went and
I
participating?
heard it went well, but I don't have any specific details. I'm sorry.
There's quite a bit of money. I
Yeah.
can see that.
I know that they were doing a climb in recognition of one of our medics that has been successfully battling cancer,
Mhm.
and he's back on the job. So that was really nice for us to recognize and support him. So,
I'll send you the article from Shoreline Area News. They
Oh.
did a nice job.
okay, I didn't see it. Sorry.
I
Oh.
read it too, Patty.
So, sorry.
Well, and actually, so did Shoreline Fire, and I assume Michelle put it together, but it shows up participants and how many stairs and how many vertical feet that was, and
It's been quite a while since I've done it, and I actually plan on trying to do it again. I just time.
well, I'm not,
It is-
I'm
it is
just
the most-
doubting your physical prowess.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it is, I will share with you, it is one of the more intense, workouts, for hopefully only, 20 minutes or 25 minutes. But it's just, you're in there and just, it's an accomplishment just to do it.
Okay. Well, and from what I understood, what I read, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that Shoreline's department participants were one of the few that were full on gear.
No, and actually for the firefighter climb, there's two different climbs that occur. They do the civilian climb the day before, and then they do the firefighter climb. And to be verified, because I remember you get there and they actually check all of your gear before you enter the stairwell. And thank you. How much was it? 18,000? Cool. You actually to do the firefighter climb, you actually have to be in your full everything. And you're on air, except for at the certain floors, at least most people trade out bottles at a certain floor. I can't remember which floor it is, but it's a little over halfway up. And yeah, you're in full gear. So you're calling up 60, 70 pounds, and encapsulated and on air.
I understand the Montana contingent did not participate because of PFAS. So,
Interesting. I hadn't thought about that. So, yeah. So
Because of PFAS
in our gear.
in the gear.
in the
firefighter's
gear
gear.
itself. Oh,
Right.
jeez. I didn't even think of that.
The whole thing got started by a shoreline firefighter. So
Yeah, I was about to say,
Big name,
Shoreline is who started the climb.
one of our guys did it. He was in full bunker gear, got done and Seattle Times met him at the top and he says, I challenge other firefighters to do this next year. 32, I think, was the number the second year, and after that it became hundreds.
Yeah.
It's you can't get because I've tried. It sells out for all the spots that are available in about 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It is. People come from all over it's international. People will travel from Australia, from Europe, to do this climb. It's pretty amazing. And it's a really cool thing.
We donated.
Good. Thank you.
Interestingly enough, my husband's construction company was collecting donations.
So
So that the trades got involved with kind of a competition to see.
it's amazing how fast the guys that are doing it. I don't know about this year, but in past years, there are firefighters that are doing it in full gear with their SCBA and all that, and air and all that are doing it as fast or faster than the people that are going up in shorts and a t-shirt. It's amazing. And some of them will even carry a set of irons or an axe or a tool or something and simulate going up. And it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it makes
You're getting me nostalgic now. I really want to go do it.
Okay. North City Water District Capital Project update. Max. Yep.
Well, we have a pretty ambitious year this year if everything goes well. But first I want to talk about a couple projects we did last year, which we on Sheridan Beach, we had a two different projects down there, one where we tied a water line underneath the creek. I can kick you, maybe heard us talk about that. We completed that where we, now we have it connected underneath Mackler Creek. And, then we also made a redundant connection from 41st Avenue down to Beach Drive. And, they originally just had one line feeding that, now there's two. And, there's one that increased our fire flows, I ran a report on it, but it increased our fire flows quite a bit down Sheridan Beach area. So those two projects were very beneficial for that to happen. As far as this year, we've got well, we talked about the projects with Sound Transit. On 145th, there's not a whole lot of water line type work. They are putting in a bus station and there'll be a new meter we'll put there, but there are some fire hydrants being replaced. There's one right by that station. It's kind of where the Goodwill is. They're putting it, changing out a fire hydrant there, and a couple others along through there that you'll see will get replaced. And as Diane talked, there's a couple of SPU hydrants that will be. We've got hydrants, probably 20 feet from each other, and the ones that are SPU,
A little close.
connected to the SPU lines will go away. So we're working on. There's Judge said there's three of them, and we'll get two of them. I think two of them taken care of with the project, and then there'll be one more that we'll have to work with SPU on. But they look kind of funny being that close to each other. And then over on.
And ours are painted and theirs aren't.
Well, they're painted a little different color. One of them actually has pretty nice silver graffiti on it. Then there's also the project on the Bothell Way that Diane alluded to earlier. That it probably won't happen this next year. I'm guessing it'll probably more like in 27. But we'll be replacing pretty much our whole. There was already part of it that was going to be part of the project that they had to replace because it was in the way of like storm drain or another utility, and so they moved it out in the road, and then now they're going to replace ours. The rest of the line that Diane's been working with them on.
We're sharing in that cost. They weren't gonna replace it
Yeah,
for free. We have to share it.
we'll do 50-50 on that. It'll all of our line from where our water district starts. I think it's right around 160th, all the way essentially down to Mackler Creek off the way. We'll get all that replaced with new hydrants and all that too. So, but I don't see them getting that together. It may not even be 2027, but it'll be their last phase as she talked about. They kind of split it up, and I think it'll be the last phase to happen. They will be starting the work on 145th probably, if not in April, probably in May. So that'll be happening pretty soon. They've got a contractor hired. We're going to start having some meetings with them. So our projects that we have going on that will actually be, well, before I do that, she did mention the Percrest project, so I will touch on those. The nursing facility and laundry facility that they've actually been constructing. They've got all the infrastructure, the underground infrastructure in place. And we actually worked with Ryan just this week about the hydrants have been bagged for a while because they didn't ever have the hydrant or the valves actually turned on in some areas. And so our inspector's working with the contractor to get those valves turned on and the hydrants, the bags taken off the hydrants and make them active. So that'll because they're starting to go up. It's only a 2-story building, but they are starting to put the structure together. So getting those hydrants active in case there was something happen there. But I would like to say too, and Ryan and all the people from his office that we work with, whether it's fire flow analysis or out in the field inspections and stuff like that, they're great to work with. And we're really like working with Ryan. It's his group, so I would like to tell you that. And then the other project, the Department of Health, which is down off of 1 50th, well, 15th to 150th, but a couple blocks down. They're about done with all the water line work. And then we'll have some follow-up to do, the as-built and whatnot, but they are pretty close to having all the water line done on that part. And as Diane said, they're kind of on the totally opposite ends of the Fircrest campus, but eventually they'll, as projects happen over the next 15, 20 years, we'll eventually get through to where they fill off the line and touch. Each project has to be set up with a stub out to tie to the next project. Hopefully we get to where we take that system over on our standards and replace a system that, you know, hasn't always been reliable. So our projects though that we have going on this year, and we have if we get them all you know, kicked off and rolling, there's 5 of them that could actually happen this year. So the 6th and 145th, we recently did a new water line on 6th Avenue from 155th to almost to 145th, but we had never have made the connection out into 145th. And since we'd hoped that it was going to happen with part of the Sound Transit project, but it didn't. So now we're probably going to in the next month hire a contractor to get that going. And make the connection there at 145th. Hopefully while they're still working out there, they've got that lane shut down right now. And just make that connection to our 12-inch water line from 145th to it was a 6-inch water line that tied into that 12-inch, and we ran a 12-inch all the way from 155th down close to there. We just want to tie that together to make it all play better.
Wait, Max, I'm jumping in here, Max. Someone in the planning process totally forgot about water in that last part of the system. So this has been a rush job to try and get it done and to try and get a WashDOT permit for this, you know, because it's in state highway. It's not been easy. Max has been pretty busy on this project here, but it's just trying to, with all the different agencies around here, people kind of forgot that water was important.
Well, and that entire length where Max was talking about the new line went in on 6th from 155th to 145th, all of that's been upzoned with 6 stories by the city of Shoreline. So it kind of changes how we supply and get water to that area, which is a low part in our service district anyway.
Well, right there at 145th, there's pretty large complex of 7, I think it's 7 residential lots have been combined there, and they're still planning on getting that going. I don't know if it's a funding issue or not, but right there between 5th and 6th, just up from 145th, there's I think it's called Grand Peak that will benefit right off the bat from this water line we're putting in as far as the fire flows. So they'll it's going to be 7 stories, as Patty said. So or he said 6, but I think it's actually 7. Yeah. So so that project, yeah, it has been pretty busy the last few months and trying to get that. And that's, as you mentioned, you know, we had to get a permit from the Shoreline, but also from WashDOT, which was trying, but we've also had to work with various utilities and utilities that Sound Transit's putting in. There's utilities that the freeway interchange project that Shoreline's doing. They had some storm drain that we had to work with and work around. And it's been a lot of work with Seattle City Light. We had to work with SPU. We had to work with the Sound Transit project and the other projects. So it's been pretty trying for 125 feet of water line, but we'll get it in there and get it connected. Then we're working on another project down on 155th that will actually connect where the 6-inch water line had went up to to 155th, we're, we're going from that point up to 15th on 155th, so like about 6th Avenue up to 150, or up to 15 on 155th. And replacing, making sure all that water line, 8-inch water line. And then we're also gonna put in a redundant 12-inch water line that's gonna eventually, we'll connect to it probably down the road in a year or two, to change one of our pressure zone. But that's kind of a sidetrack. We are gonna put an 8-inch and a 12-inch side by side for about 6 of those blocks.
Max isn't, I'm jumping in here, Matt. The city is requiring us to put in 14
yeah, I get
handicap ramps. To put a water line in. that
They
doesn't
already
come-
exist, but because the codes have changed, then we have to replace all the existing ones.
Ramps. We have to put these in, even though the water line is way out in the stream.
if you cross a crosswalk with your water line, then you have to work on both. You have to replace both of those ADA ramps. And so if we hit both of the crosswalks at each intersection, you got to do all 4. And so, so as she says, 14 ADA ramps, but we also it made our plan set from 8 pages for the water. When we originally were just going to do the water line and we submitted it to the city, it was 8 pages. Now it's 32 pages because of the ADA requirements. And not to mention the price of the project, because there's a lot of concrete work and a lot of
It is amazing how much those cost.
And demo, and
yeah,
sidewalk tie-in.
there's tree removal that we have to do now. We have to replace trees. There's quite a bit of added work on that project. And it was originally going to be part of the 6th Avenue waterline project, but we purposely split it off because we would have never got 6th Avenue done if we'd have waited till we were ready to do 155th. This 155th's taken probably a year and a half right now just to get through the permitting process. Yeah, but glad you brought that up. I guess I kind of don't so so and then we've got a couple of small projects that 2-inch water line we're replacing, a 2-inch galvanized line that's leaking. It's up at 200 court and 15th. There's no fire hydrants on the line or anything. It's of course it's a small 2-inch line. And then we've got another water line connection that it's where they put in the non-motorized bridge on the east side. 3rd Avenue and 149th Avenue is where
It crosses over I-5. Yeah.
Crosses over I-5 and lands right there. We tried making this connection back when Sound Transit was doing the work there, but that's one thing that Diane kind of hit on earlier is part of that whole Linwood link is they purchased some of those properties there. Well, they haven't been able to. City Shoreline and Sound Transit haven't got together to. I think they're just deeding the property over to them. There's not really any money changing hands, but they can't get the property deeded to the city, so it becomes right away. So we can put our water line in. So we've been sitting on these plans for about 2 years now. We've got it in design and ready to go. They've even looked at the permit. They've given us the verbal that yeah, you're good to go, but they won't give us the permit until they actually take the property and make it into city right away. So we're waiting on one last block on that from 149th to 151st that we can't put in until they get the right of way. So that we're hoping that project can happen this year, but it really depends on whether they can Sound Transit and City Shoreline can get together on that there's actually 2 lots there that they gotta get from the Sound Transit people. So last project I have is actually over in Lake Forest Park, and it's another 1950 vintage water line, and it's 37th and 38th Avenue, so it's kind of up off of Bothell, up to the west. But 37th, 38th between 162nd and 165th. And
Is it Sheridan Heights?
Sheridan Heights, I think is what it's called.
That helps you.
And we've had, well, I've been with the district for 4.5 years, and so
Exercise time for
we honestly have to do this now.
Thank you, Tyler.
I know, Tyler.
Tyler made it.
But since I've been there, we've had 4 main breaks on this one section on 137. In about 150 feet, we've had 4 main breaks. And it's just, older water line. It's starting to cause us problems. There was some leaks prior to me being there, but I just know since I've been there, we've had 4. And we're trying to we've got a good design and the city of Lake Forest Park has reviewed it, and we're in the last review. They had some comments this last time, and so hopefully we'll get a permit on that, get that out to bid here fairly soon, and get that built this year too. So that'll replace 4 or 5 fire hydrants over there. Then it'll also, we're going from 6-inch up to 8-inch water line on both those streets. So give us better fire flows for those fire hydrants that will be there.
Oh, that's quick.
And so we're between 4 and 6 million, similar to what you
Tyler,
guys.
we need your help. Never mind, got it.
You said, okay, you said that was such a disruption. With 4 to 5 new hydrants and going from what size pipe?
Well, it's currently 6-inch water line. We're gonna put in 8-inch water line. And that's pretty much all I have. I don't think I've forgot anything, so that's all I have for the capital update.
Those are quite projects.
Yeah, pretty ambitious to make them happen.
Thank you, take that, folks.
They're fire flow driven, so
Yeah.
it's kind of nice, to either repair stuff or fire flow.
Okay, FlexNet system.
Yeah, I guess I can talk on that too. A couple of years ago, it's been at least 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We worked with
Been
Matt.
leasing your 60 station
65.
station 65.
Right.
We
And,
can't thank you enough for that. That's great.
Yeah, it's been great for us, and it's really helped out in the area where we weren't picking up some of the meters on our AMI system, or automatic meter infrastructure, which it's called. And Bob will attest to it. He's really helped, or really appreciated having that station there, and worked out good on the lease, and be able to use that. So we really appreciate that.
I'm glad we can partner.
Yeah.
Okay, is there anything else?
We may be looking at one of your station down there in Lake Forest Park, if we have to put another one there also.
Okay.
So
Yeah, there's a possibility. We're still trying to figure out.
we can't quite pick up all,
Station 57 there.
Yeah.
Okay.
can't quite pick up all those residents down there, and he'd really like to get them.
Trying to figure out how to get the most, we've
Where to
got,
put it.
yeah, we're the best place to
No,
just
just
pick
let me
up the most.
Anybody in virtual land have any questions or comments? No?
Question.
I'll just say, from my standpoint, it's really interesting to hear all the projects of the water district and learn about all those projects. I was not aware of all those, especially all the ones related to sound transit. So yeah, thanks for all those updates.
Sure. No problem.
What's happening with the pump house on 145th and 5th?
That's SPU's, that's a major that's there, we call it the Foy pump station.
Uh-huh.
And not we, SPU calls it that. It's gonna stay in place, but they're putting a new sidewalk around that area, and they've got to fix up the sides, things like that. But that is a pretty critical.
Yeah, every time I drive by that,
They've been getting a lot of graffiti.
That what's happening with that. How are they gonna do that?
Well, before it was kind of hidden by the overgrowth, and so it
Yeah.
wasn't a nuisance attraction for graffiti because you could graffiti it, nobody would see it. Now that there's been all that work right around that corner,
You really see it.
been exposed, then yeah, and it gets trashed
Yeah.
and it's too bad.
Yeah, the only other thing is we have, we just finished 4.5 years of negotiating a wholesale contract with Seattle. 4.5 years. It was not an easy feat, but,
Piece of cake.
yeah. Anyway, it's nice to have everybody in agreement. We're talking about it in our newsletter that goes around. Pretty big deal to us. 4 years, wow. Wow. Okay, is there anything else?
Good.
All right, it is 6:26. Adjourned.
You get to host next time.
Okay. Sounds good.
Shoot some dates on early part 22nd.
Bye, guys. Thanks for joining us.